What is up, everybody? Welcome into Pac-12 Preview. I am Michael Caratanudo, hanging out on a Monday. Said I'd be back, and yes, it was a good weekend. Pardon me. I hope everybody had a fun weekend. Good weekend. If you celebrated Passover, Easter, anything. Hope everybody had a very fun and entertaining weekend. I will say this: if you watch the Masters, it was pretty entertaining, to say the least. And the weather made it even more of a treat. Yeah, the weather made it even more of a treat. So, I shouldn't say a treat in a bad way. Made it a challenge, made it interesting, and you got to love it. And, I know a lot of golf, again, being very tough, and you see these courses. And, I mean, even in perfect conditions on Thursday at Augusta, if you saw how the course was, rolling, and, there were low scores to be had. Well, yeah, the weather took a turn, and it got very, very crazy. And yeah, so that was interesting. Spring sports wise, again, a lot of spring football going on across the Pac-12. I know UCLA got started up too. Utah is in the midst of their spring ball, as is, I want to say, Oregon State. ASU, you've seen me out there in the midst of their spring ball too. So, yeah, and then baseball, obviously, well into conference play. Same thing with softball. Teams that have lacrosse, water polo, track and field, getting into their season, getting into their stride. I mean, come on, we can go there. And what else? Am I forgetting? Well, swimming wrapped up, gymnastics wrapped up. Oh, beach volleyball. Yes, schools that have beach volleyball. So that's and what else? But you get the gist. There's a lot going on. It is springtime. And yes, I am Michael Caratanudo at Diablo00 on Twitter is where you can find me. Got any questions, comments? And go ahead, drop me a line. Let me know what's up. And yeah, let me know what's on your mind, what you checked out, all that good stuff. I mean, it's you can't complain. Not too bad. And again, you had a lot of options. You have a lot of options if you're out there checking stuff out. It's a it's a smorgasbord of spring sports, and we have them. Again, the conference is definitely doing very well. I mean, UCLA in softball has been going as their usual bananas. So yeah, that's par for the course, to say the least. But yeah, so funny story too. I always share these funny ones. But before we get rolling, if you've ever gotten woken up by a Charlie horse in your foot, leg, anywhere, you know how thrilling that is. And no, it's not. I mean, it's a terrible pain. Don't get me wrong, it is. But yeah, it's so on yesterday morning, I'm Saturday, I go to bed. I'm like, I wake up, watch the Masters. Whenever I get up, they'll already have been starting because with the rain and everything, I had to make up rounds. Yeah, I was. I scared 2 dogs with how loud I screamed. Yeah, I had a Charlie horse in my calf, and yeah, it was pretty funny, hilarious, entertaining. Well, not for me, but if you were the dogs, it was entertaining. Although I did kind of freak them out. They were looking at me like, "Oh, can we help?" Um, and and they're like, "Can we help?" And it was funny because like you just, I'm not saying they were thinking that, but just the looks they had, they were really freaked out. Yeah, waking up with a Charlie horse, I have to say, is one of the worst pains, and it takes a day or two to go away. And the weird thing is, say, oh, people say, oh, maybe obviously hydration, Arizona, whatever, weather up and down, we get overall getting warmer. Man, I drink water. I'm not saying the most water ever, but definitely drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. But yeah, that was the worst pain. I'm like, well, happy Easter Sunday, man. Just wake up screaming at 5:45. But maybe that was my internal body alarm to get up and watch the start of the Masters, because I mean they were teeing off like 8:30, 8:45 Eastern, which of course is 5:45 out here. So yeah, that was kind of a a painful joke from the universe. But yeah, and it's still sore today. Well, it was sore yesterday, sore today. But yeah, just Charlie horses suck, to say the least, is all I have to say, because it's not even just, and then you can't, when I'm finally like putting my foot on the ground, I'm trying to like put a little pressure on it. And, as they tell you in anything, remember to breathe, which is always a great is always, great advice. Of course, when you're in pain, not easy to do. So not easy to do. But yes, I just thought I'd share because now I can laugh about it. But when you're in the moment, the pain is absolutely just ridiculous. And I've had them in the foot before, and it's bad. But man, this is one of the first times I think I've had it in the calf. So I don't know. Maybe athletes, I would love to hear if an athlete has had one there and what it's been like for them. But I mean, yeah, it was a little painful. Not gonna lie. But yeah, no tears were shed. But I did scream very loud waking up. And yes, happened to startle, I should say, 2 dogs who came over and wanted to help me. But, either way, it worked out. But man, then we get to the Masters. And yes, I went back to bed. I'm like, okay. The pain subsided. I was like, let me just drink some water. Let me do something. And I'm like, well, maybe just turn on the Masters. And I was just like, yeah. So I went back to bed for a little bit, but got up and, going into, because they finished the second round. Play got suspended Friday. There was a tree that fell. It was insane. If you saw any of this, if you saw any of that, like Friday, like no patrons were hurt. There were people around. I think there was a gentleman, like 2 trees that went down, literally fell down. And there was a gentleman that was pretty much in the middle of these 2 and didn't get hurt. It was, man, I mean, talk about just I'm not even talking about disrupted a tournament. This has nothing to do with sports. It's just very, very awesome and great that nobody was hurt. But yeah, so Thursday, everybody finishes their round. Friday, players start the second round. And then, yes, the weather, which was supposed to be not great. It was funny. I've never, outside of watching the Weather Channel and, maybe during, again, hurricane season, which is always very tough in the southeastern part of the country. But watching like the Weather Channel and you're seeing like the radar, and I mean, literally, it was funny because the coverage on ESPN, if you saw, was that at the end of Thursday, they had the radar going, and this is what it was going to be like around Augusta. And so Thursday, the round gets finished. Okay, Friday, second round starts. And I mean, Brooks Koepka got out to a fire start. Him and Jon Rahm, that first round, were both 7 under to start it. And well, before I start, I want to, yes, absolutely, congratulations. Forks up to Mr. at Jon Rahm, former Sun Devil, first Masters championship at 28 years old. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And that was great to see. I mean, obviously his wife, his 2 young kids were there, but Jon Rahm being a Sun Devil, as well as he did in Tempe, and as well as what he's built up to on the tour. Yeah, no surprise. Absolutely awesome. So yes, congratulations to Jon Rahm. But the first round, I mean, Brooks Koepka, Jon Rahm were, again, perfect weather. And I mean, you look at his first round. After a double bogey, and I'm laughing because what he said yesterday in his victory speech, if you didn't watch, I mean, I won't obviously tell you the whole thing, but you can find it. But well, I'll get to that in a second. It was very funny. So he double bogeys the first hole. Then on the second, then he birdies 2 and 3 back to back. So he gets back to even par after the third hole. All right. Then he pars 4, 5, and 6, birdies 7, eagles 8. So he is 3 under at the turn. And then he was obviously shook off the double bogey already, but on the backside, no bogeys. He parred 10, 11, and 12, birdied 13, parred 14, birdied 15 and 16, parred 17, and birdied 18 to be out in 32 at 4 under. So 7 under for the day for Jon Rahm. Well, Brooks Koepka, he had an interesting day. In his first round, because it came down to the 2 of them yesterday, but his first round, Brooks Koepka, he parred 1, 2, and 3. Then he bogeyed 4, parred 5, bogeyed 6, parred 7 and 8, and then bogeyed 9. So 3 over on the front 9. Makes the turn, pars 10 and 11. A little bit more of the bogey blues. He bogeyed number 12. Then he would birdie 13, bogey 14, birdie 15 and 16, and then bogey 17 and par out on 18. So he ended up being 3 over after round 1. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was his round 4. Man, I wish I would have read that. Okay, here we go. Round 1, not round 4. So Koepka pars 1, birdies 2 and 3, 4 through 6 par, 7 and 8 birdie, pars number 9. Makes the turn, pars 10 and 11, birdies 12, bogeys 13, pars 14, and then birdies on 15, par on the par 3 16. He hits par on 16. 17 and 18, he birdied both of those par 4s. So he is 7 under after round 1. Absolutely just crushing it. Weather was good. Okay, so then we get to Friday. And yeah, John Rahm, much better start on Friday. Well, for his round 2, which he had a finish on Saturday, but this is what Rahm's second round looked like on the march to his title. So one, a much better hole, much better start at 1. He pars. He parred 1 through 7 in his second round. Yes, it went from Friday to Saturday, but we'll look, for the sake of it, we'll just go with round 2. So he round 2, he starts with pars from 1 through 7, still 7 under. Then look at that. Birdies 8 and 9. Now he's 9 under. And he was 2 under, obviously, because he parred everything else. So 2 birdies. So 2 under. Makes the turn, hits the back 9. He pars 10 and 11, birdies 12. Pars 13 and 14. Then he birdies 15, but a little tough on 16. He bogeyed 16. Got the shot back because he birdied 17, but then finished his round bogeying 18. But he was still 3 under, so he was 3 under. So that put him at 10 under through round 2. So, all right. Now, Koepka in the second round, still rocking it. He comes out, pars 1, birdies 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all pars. Gets to 8 and hit a hell of a shot. Well, he hit many of them, but on this one, which, full disclosure, saw the replay of it because of the whole shut and play down, cancel. Yeah, it was start, stop, restart. But hit a hell of a shot and, well, approach, getting onto the green. But eagles number 8, pars number 9. So he is 3 under at the turn, which puts him at 10 under. And I'm thinking, man, he is just taking off. So then he makes a turn. It's par on 10, 11, and 12. Birdies 13, pars 14, birdies 15, and then pars out on 16, 17, and 18. So he is 5 under again, 12 under for round 2. 2 shots up on Jon Rahm. Yeah, because he was Jon Rahm was so he was 10 under through 2, and Koepka was 12 under through 2 rounds. And here, they started round 3 on Saturday as well, right? So, well, they had to finish round 2 on Saturday. I take that back. They had to finish round 2 on Saturday. And it finished round 2 on Saturday and then started round 3. But there was still inclement weather. They were playing in it, but yes, it got suspended. So anyway, but round 3 for Rahm starts out good. Again, hole number 1 after Thursday, not bad for him. He pars it, birdies 2, pars 3. But then he gives back 2 shots on 4 and 5. He bogeys both of those holes back to back. He parred 3, and then he hit a shot. He was hitting, up till he parred 3. He bogeyed 4, bogeyed 5, parred 6, and he was hitting shots. For him. Now, when I say all over the place, please bear with me. I'm not talking about me playing golf. I'm talking about commentators talking about it. Just, and the weather did have a little bit to do with it. Everybody's playing in it, but it was tough. But Jon Rahm puts a shot on 7 when they finally suspended play. Like, he hit it onto the green. I can't believe they didn't let him go up there and tap it in, but they had to suspend play. I get it. Because then everybody would be like, oh, well, I'll just go tap the. So they suspended play there. But anyway, he ends up birdieing 3 when he gets back on the course when they start Sunday. That's where he started. So he birdied 3. This is his third round. Birdied 3, birdied 4, birdied 3. Birdied 7, birdied 8, par 9. Makes the turn, 10, 11, and 12, shoots par. Gives another shot back and bogeys 6. Pars 14 and 15. Or no, God, I keep saying he bogeyed 13. Pars 14 and 15. Bogeyed 16. Pars 17 and 18. So he was 1 over. So he dropped. But I'm just saying he ends up dropping. He was 1 over in the third round. So he goes from 10 under to 9 under after the third round. And Brooks Koepka, his third round had a little speed bumps too, but he pars 1, birdies 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all pars. Goes to 7, gets a tough bogey, gets the shot back on 8 when he birdies, pars 9, makes the turn, pars 10 and 11, bogeys 12, and then 13, 14, 15, and 16, all par. So you're thinking, okay, shooting pretty good. Bogeyed 17, though, and then got par on 18. So he was 1 over for round 3. So it's coming to round 4. And again, both finished up and played in the same day. But he's him and Jon Rahm playing in the final round together. And so he was 11 under after 3. And he was 3? So he was up 1 on Rahm. And then we go to the 4th round. So he was 11 under. Rahm was 10 under. Get to the final round, and yes, the weather cleared so they could do that. They started early, and they used every ounce of sunlight. So the final round, if you watch, just what Brooks Koepka did, the charge that Phil, and I haven't got to him yet, but Phil Mickelson, but what Brooks Koepka was, where he was at, and what Jon Rahm was chasing, man, it was one of those days. And I don't want to, again, I know people say it, but it's a tough course. You're not going to make every putt. Yes, even pro golfers don't hit bad shots. We all know this, right? And with the cold weather and Jon Rahm, again, not that he's in different spots, but having spent, his college years here in Tempe, it's a little warm here. So when you're playing golf tournaments and it's cold, it can be a little challenging. But so Koepka has a 1-shot lead as they tee off. So Rahm pars 1 and 2 to start the 4th round, as does Koepka. Both shoot par. They go to 3. First birdie of the day for Jon Rahm. And now he's 11 under. And at 3, Koepka parred it. 4th hole, Rahm with a par, Koepka with his first bogey. 5th hole, both shoot par. They go to 6th. Rahm with a par, Koepka giving another shot back as he bogeyed 6. And then at 7, they both shoot par. At 8, Rahm birdies, picks up another shot, and Koepka shoots par at 8. Rahm gives that shot back, though, but they both stay the same distance apart as they both bogey 9. So they make the turn. And Rahm is 1 under, and Koepka's now 3 over. They make the turn. They both par 10 and 11. On 12, Rahm with another par, Koepka with his 4th bogey of the round. At 13, though, they both birdie. So Koepka gets a shot back, but Rahm, again, drops another shot. At 14, and again, to me, yes, things could have been done, and it could have won, but to me, watching this is when it was won. Rahm birdied, and Koepka another bogey on 14. Now, I said that, and even in my head watching, I'm like, yep, it's over right here. But so Rahm is now 3 under on the day, right, to this point, through 14. Rahm's 3 under, and Koepka is 4 over for the day. So you're thinking, okay, they go to 15. Rahm with a par. Koepka, says, hey, I'm going to birdie. Inches a little bit closer. Okay. They go to 16. Koepka, back-to-back birdies. Rahm, another par. Then I'm thinking, I don't believe in the jinx, in any fan person jinx, which is kind of funny at this point because not knowing what Rahm's going to say post-victory. But so Koepka birdies 15 and 16 back-to-back. So now Koepka's just 2 over for the day, and you're thinking, okay, 2 holes left. I mean, it's going to take that, but so they go to 17, and Koepka bogeys, Rahm pars, and then they both par on 18. Koepka 3 over for the day, Rahm 3 under. And he wins his first Masters at 28 years old, the 4th Spaniard to win it. And yes, another player that played collegiately in the Pac-12. And I'm just going to say it was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, that last round, look, 4 birdies, 1 bogey. So you're 3 under again. And I mean, like I said, and you finish at 12 under. So, his only round above par was the 3rd round, and he was 1 over. I mean, you shoot 7 under to get out of the gates, and then you shoot your 3 under for round 2, like I said. So there's, 10 under going into the weekend, and then you're 1 over. So you're 9 under par, and then you finish it out 3 under par, 12 under. And look, Koepka again had a hell of a tournament, and everyone's like, oh, he gave it, like, guys are going to hit, but like, they're professional golfers. And yes, are they practicing? Are they hitting these shots? The master, I mean, the pin placement, if you watch the speed of some of these putts, again, I know I'm not a golf show, not a golf expert, except I know that my game is not like theirs, because when I hit a bad shot, my next shot isn't, on the green like theirs, as they seemingly get back to all the time, do the pros. But yeah, I mean, Jon Rahm just took it, and shooting pars was a very, very good thing, because when you take the turn, Rahm's 1 under, and on 9, I mean, the putt, was it not? Yeah, the putt that he had missed for par, I was like, oh, wow, a little surprised. But if he pars that, I mean, he's 2 under, and Koepka's 3 over, and a lot of people think, okay, a lot can happen on the back 9, but I mean, yeah, Rahm 2 under on the back 9. But when you par, and one of my friends used to taught me this a long time ago. My good friend Tom, who his dad was a golf pro, but Tom used to say to me, because we'd go out. I remember when first tinkering around with golf eons ago, and we'd go to the driving range. I'm like, oh, I just want to crush the ball, and his dad would be like, let's go to the putting green. I was like, oh man, I want to crush the ball. And Tom looked at me and goes, hey, Mike, drives for show, putts for dough. Yeah, well, obviously, Rahm on the PGA Tour, we all know he can putt for dough. Because look, on the back 9, no bogeys, you're 2 under, but you par 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Yeah, you want to talk about clutch performance. And, there was one time, I think was it a 15? Was it a 15 or 16? I was just so happy and stoked for him, obviously being a Sundell, representing the Pac-12, as has Tiger Woods all these years, as has Phil Mickelson all these years. And so, but yeah, he took a 7-iron, like, he's laying up, man. You just got to throw darts and shoot par. You're shooting par, and you're obviously already under par. Like, and you have the lead, make them catch you. And, I was just so happy for him. And he wins it at 12 under par. And it was funny, too. Quickly, I'll get to this, is Jon Rahm, I mean, all 4 days, I mean, just, again, looked very comfortable. And, I mean, just not obviously the pressure's there, but, again, just looked relaxed, looked comfortable. But when he gave his victory, after he got, the green jacket, and he's talking, and he said, yeah, he goes, I don't know if if some of you out there do believe in jinxes or don't, but he goes, I got a text for a friend, and I'm going to say who it is. About 10, 15 minutes before I teed off at 1 on Thursday, or at the first tee on Thursday. And he goes, it was Zach Ertz. And he's like, man, watching Zach Ertz, he goes, one looks like he goes, man, with that nice weather right now, one looks like it's playing good or easy. However, Rahm said, it was funny. And he goes, and then I proceed to double bogey it. So please don't do that again, Zach. And I mean, again, the way he tells the story, again, just very, very funny and completely hilarious. But yeah, I mean, like I said, guys he looked up to. I mean, Jose Maria Olazabal was there, who won a Masters. Obviously, Seve Ballesteros, who had passed away, won a Masters. Sergio Garcia, after a lot of time, won a Masters. And now Jon Rahm joins those greats in the Green Jacket Club in his second major championship. Like I said, couldn't be happier for the man. I mean, look, if I was doing the show and Tiger Woods was winning all these things, I would obviously be doting on the Stanford alum, Tiger Woods. And all he did, and Phil Mickelson, as well. And talking about Phil Mickelson, I know last year, obviously a tough year for Phil, the whole thing and I really appreciated this year not hearing about Liv and it just got started last year, and reporters have to ask the questions. I get it. And, to be honest, if I was there, if I'm at the Masters from a media standpoint covering it, if people say, how do you not talk about the elephant in the room? Because they're going to get annoyed answering it. They're just going to have cookie cutter answers. And I want to know about if it's somebody. Yeah, I mean, of course, in a group setting, but I would have avoided the question as much as possible just to get them talking about golf and that course. But nonetheless, this year, absolutely crazy. Look, Jon Rahm, awesome. Phil Mickelson, I talked about him. Want to give him a quick shout out before we go to break. I mean, 8 under. And you look at, I won't go, but first round, he shot 1 under. And he had, well, it's an interesting round. He had 1 double bogey, 3 bogeys, and then 6 birdies to get to 1 under. Now, that is a hell of a roller coaster round 1, and the weather was, like I said, great. Then when the weather starts being bad, you go to round 2. Phil Mickelson, another double bogey in round 2, and then he had 5 birdies. So 3 under. So now you look at Phil Mickelson, makes the cut. He's 4 under. You're like, man, is Lefty, can Lefty find a fountain of youth? And you're like, yeah, did Lefty find a fountain of youth? And you're like, okay. So, yeah, so he's 4 under, makes the cut comfortably. And then we head to his round 3, where a little bit tougher for Phil. Because, like I said, he was 4 under. Round 3 saw Phil with 5 bogeys and 2 birdies. And the 2 birdies came first on 3 and 6. And then after that, it was bogey on 7, bogey on 8, and then made the turn, par 9, and then bogey 10 and 11, par 12 through 17, and then bogey 18. So 3 over. And now Phil is back to just 1 over for the tournament. And you're thinking, oh, well, I know I was like, well, when he finished that 3rd round on Sunday, I was like, well, I'm like, hey, he gave it a heck of a run, man. How's he going to do, coming back out to finish the tournament? Well, Phil just said, hell, I'm Lefty. I got the shots. So this is his 4th round. He had 1 bogey and 8 birdies. And then 7 pars. Oh, no. Eight pars, sorry. 8 birdies, 1 bogey, and 8 pars. 7 under. And Phil finishes at 8 under for the tournament. But again, with where he was and when he teed off to start the final round, he just got to sit and watch. And seeing Koepka come back down, and he was in 2nd by himself. And, man, I tell you what, it was it was a hell of a run by Lefty. And again, another Sun Devil all the years. Obviously, he's been on the tour. But yes, Pac-12 representing. But, man, forks up. Congratulations to Jon Rahm. Again, 12 under. And just in case you're wondering, his purse was $3.24 million for winning the Masters. So, but nonetheless, I mean, now to go down in Masters lore is absolutely awesome. But again, just wanted to get to it. Pac-12 all the way, and Jon Rahm absolutely rocking it. So, yeah, we're going to step aside real quick. When I get back, we will hit some spring sports review. Obviously, softball, again, in the middle of their season, and UCLA rocking it. Baseball-wise, the Sun Devils. What? Willie Bloomquist, former Sun Devil, MLB player, got the Sun Devils rocking in the Pac-12, 2nd season, 1st season, a little speed bumps, but man, Willie Bloomquist, what's going on? But yeah, obviously baseball, some lacrosse, water polo. Well, I don't know. ASU's got water polo. So does UCLA. Take that back. On the women's side, and track and field, stuff like that. But yeah, with baseball, softball, we'll hit it. We'll step aside. Stay right here. More Pac-12 preview coming up. All right, back here on PAC-12 Preview. Yes, I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 is where you can find me. Pardon me. Sorry about that. On Twitter. And yeah, again, congratulations, Sun Devil John Rahm, 87th Masters champ. Love hearing that. Love seeing, again, the success. And yeah, they cut their teeth in the Pac-12. You got is all I'm going to say. But yeah, let's get right into it. Baseball standings after the weekend. Stanford and ASU in the conference record up top at 10-2 overall. USC's at 9-3, UCLA 8-5-1. Oregon is at 7-5 in conference play. Washington at 6-6. Oregon State at 7-8. Washington State at 5-9. Arizona at 5-10. Utah 3-11-1, and Cal 3-12. Overall. And yeah, I mean, you look at Stanford, I mean, they're 21-7 overall, and ASU 23-9, USC 20-10-1, UCLA 19-8-1 overall. And then Oregon is 20-9, Washington 19-10, Oregon State to 20 wins, but they are 20-11 overall. Washington State is 18-12, Arizona 16-13, Utah 11-18-1, and Cal is 12-15. So that's where we are standings wise. After the weekend. And yeah, so with the weekend series, a lot of times, I mean, the Pac-12 has done this over, with Easter being on Sunday, they'll play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So weekend play on Thursday, UCLA was able to beat Utah 5-3. Washington beat Arizona 13-8. USC, they played San Diego State, actually beat them 12-2. And then ASU eked out a victory at home over Washington State 6-5. And Stanford, as dominant as I said they've been on Thursday night, man, Cal hanging with them. And but Stanford, they did get the win, but I'm saying it was 8-7. Then we go to the Friday games, and Arizona turned around and beat Washington 12-4. SC took the second from San Diego State 7-2. ASU, a little bit more separation there. They beat Washington State 6-2 to get the series win. And then Oregon beat Oregon State 2-0. And there was Then went on Saturday, just to look at a few, UCLA shut out Utah 1-0. Arizona gets a series win over Washington after dropping the first one, like I said, taking the next two. But they beat Washington bad, 13-1. Arizona State gets the sweep over Washington State. They beat them 4-1. SC swept San Diego State They won 7-0. Oregon State, well, they beat Oregon 4-2. And yeah, they beat Oregon 4-2. And then Stanford got the series victory, beat Cal. And close games with Cal 5-3 over the Golden Bears for the Cardinal. Little Bay Area rivalry there. But yeah, I mean, again, looking at the standings in baseball, again, no shock Stanford's up there. I mean, ASU, again, Willie Bloomquist, first season, last season, and yes, did have some talent. Again, was, a little bit behind it in recruiting as, one would be when, you get hired. But yeah, this year, again, used the transfer portal and did bring in some freshmen. But man, I tell you this, 23-9 for the Sun Devils, and he's just got that team focused. I mean, the pitching, again, is starting to get to a point to where it's consistent, but it's steady. And I love the word steady because when people say, oh, well, it's not, shiny, this and that, I go, no, it doesn't mean that it's not. Guys aren't, throwing well, pitching well, controlling games. That's not, you're not going to dominate everybody, but pitching's getting to a point. The hitting, I mean, what he's done with the lineups, just tinkering, putting guys in different spots, guys that, may have struggled a little bit hitting. I mean, Isaiah Jackson, the kid's a freshman, and, he had him down in the 9 hole, which to me, I don't know. I thought batting ninth was cool. And I said from the time I was a kid, it's like you want your second best leadoff hitter batting ninth, because what's your job to do? Turn the lineup, turn the order. So he had Isaiah Jackson down there for a little bit, but he's like, yeah, he's got to be hitting the ball. And, he's moved guys to spots and they've responded. So look, I mean, 10-2 in conference play, you're 23-9. I mean, you're looking good. Their next game is tomorrow at Grand Canyon, actually. So yeah, and for Stanford, man, they're just, again, they're rocking it. They actually play Texas Tech today, and man, it's just, again, not a surprise with Stanford baseball, as well as in Oregon State. They finally beat Oregon, but Oregon had beat them the other day, and they're ahead of them in the standings. And I mean, 20-11 overall, obviously nothing to sneeze at. 7-8 in conference play. Again, you're not going to win every game, and Oregon State's one of those teams that, like, you're looking at, they need to start making, winning a few more series in the Pac-12 as we are into April. And I mean, it was, you head down the stretch of April as they actually are playing Gonzaga today. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like, that stretch, because, Stanford, Oregon State, I mean, obviously throughout the years, and even, I mean, Arizona State. But yeah, Willie Bloomquist, man, just pulling the strings with the team, and just his demeanor and everything. I mean, you've seen me, I've interviewed him on this show before, and man, just, again, absolutely awesome. The job he's on with this conference in general in baseball. Yeah. Yeah, big fan, obviously, of this conference, because it is always delivering teams that are, again, that have been consistent. I mean, look, being here in Arizona, ASU baseball, I mean, for years, yeah, it's hit a rough patch, but they have the guy to bring it back and have it go back elevate in an upward manner, is what I'm saying. So look, I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of this conference. Again, Oregon State to get hot, UCLA as well, USC, Stanford. I mean, Oregon State gets going. It's just, and I mean, Arizona, that, and again, I know you see the ASU stuff, but Arizona throughout the years, I mean, baseball wise, get at 5-10, man, just, I mean, at least, a 13-1 win, as they got that over, what was that, UW. Yeah, they, what a victory like that can do for your momentum because, I mean, that put them to 5-10. But yeah, they get back to, I mean, look, they can get back to 500 in conference play, and you start racking up some wins. Again, that's going to be a tough team. They have seeing them play ASU. I mean, batting order up and down. It's that's standing wise maybe a little bit of a surprise, but like I said, teams, look, sometimes you just go up against teams and they just happen to have one more answer. But yeah, shifting gears to softball, as again, like I said, UCLA is absolutely rocking it, man. 12-3, they're up top in the conference. All these are conference records. So UCLA 12-3, Washington at 10-5, Stanford at 8-4, Utah 8-4 as well. Cal is 6-8-1. Oregon 5-7, ASU 5-7 as well. Arizona 3-9. Did not see that coming in conference play. And then Oregon State 2-12-1 in conference play. Overall, though, man, UCLA 36-4, kids. Yeah, 36-4. As they're marching back to another Women's College World Series. Yeah, just gonna throw it out there. Again, not trying to put any. I'm believe me, all about the conference, and yeah, they're 36-4. So, yeah, that should be interesting. Washington is 29-8 overall, are the Huskies, and I mean ASU did get a series win over them, so the ASU's got a little bit of work to do. Stanford 31-6 overall. Utah 24-8. Cal 24-12-1. Pardon me. Oregon 25-11. And then Arizona State 21-13, and then you have Arizona, which is 24-15, and dominated, out of conference play, but it's just really hit the speed bumps in conference play. But 24-15 for the Wildcats, and then Oregon State 11-23-1 overall. The outlying struggler, unfortunately, for the Beavers. But yeah, and then when we look at scores from the weekend. In the Pac-12, and like I said, they did the same thing going on Thursday. Well, yeah, ASU got rained out, but they had to play Utah. But on Thursday, Oregon beat Linwood 8-0. UCLA, well, yeah, they drubbed Oregon State 6-2. Stanford beat Arizona 5-1. Again, just the matchup in general with those two. And you see the conference records, but the overall, man. And so Stanford gets that win on Thursday. Then on Friday, Washington beat Cal 6-4. Utah in that first game beat ASU 12-3. Stanford then just squeaks by U of A 3-2 on Friday. Washington beat Cal 16-5. Oregon shut out Linwood 16-0. UCLA, yeah, they're marching. Sorry, Oregon State, but they just demolished Oregon State 11-0 on Friday. Then on Saturday, the doubleheader between Utah and ASU. So ASU got the first one. They won 10-8, and then Utah won the series. They win the game in Salt Lake City 8-6 over the Sun Devils as they played doubleheader. Stanford, again, with the sweep of Arizona, they beat the Wildcats 3-1. Washington beat Cal 10-4. UCLA again shuts out Oregon 6-0. So yeah, the Bruins just absolutely rolling. I mean, you can't say enough about that team and what they do. Up next for UCLA, well, we go Stanford, Arizona. Now we go UCLA, Arizona, who in the history of college softball, kids, you can look it up, have had many insane battles, not just in conference play. Oh, no. Even in the College World Series, which has been dominated historically. I mean, the amount of national titles the Pac-12 has, it drapes everybody else. So, and yes, there has been a few lately. So other conferences I want to talk out of both sides of your mouth, you all bow down to the Pac-12. And I will say it in softball, you bow down. So yeah, they've had some epic College World Series battles throughout the years. Obviously, conference play, insane battles. So that will be some awesome softball to watch this weekend as the weekend series is in Tucson. If you're in the area, I suggest you go down there or go out to the softball game to check out UCLA and Arizona, because at least one of the games. I mean, treat yourself to one. If you can treat yourself to all three, do it. Washington, again, who's 29-8. They are they're at Oregon State this weekend. Utah and Stanford are going to be battling out. Stanford's playing Utah this weekend. Utah does have a game at BYU today, actually. Cal plays they have a game tomorrow. And it's not a conference game. I will tell you who it's against. Oh, Cal State University, Sacramento. And they're actually playing that on the road. I mean, again, not crazy far for Berkeley, but it is a road game nonetheless. And Utah is playing Weber State. That's who they play before their weekend series. And then ASU tomorrow at 6 p.m., they are actually taking on Grand Canyon at home. I know in the fall they had a scrimmage game. They scrimmaged against Grand Canyon in fall ball. So they have that. And then ASU on the weekend will be hosting Oregon. So, again, improve the overall, but a chance to improve. I mean, Oregon, again, they're both 5-7 in conference play. So both teams, are coming in thinking that, all right, we can take this series. We win all three. We're back over 500 in conference play. So both teams thinking right there. So if you're Oregon, again, then you again could inch past Cal and climb up. If you're ASU, you could jump Oregon and Cal. I mean, depending on what they do. Again, like I said, they played Cal State, Sacramento, and then on the weekend, they play UNLV this weekend too on the road. So Cal being road warriors. So yeah, that won't improve their conference, but yes, both teams could jump Cal in conference standings because Cal not playing conference matchup. So yeah, very interesting. Look forward to, again, what UCLA's done, getting to see them play. If you haven't seen them play, you do need to watch UCLA play. And again, if you're in Arizona for some reason, you're down in Tucson, it might be tough to get it to you. You want to look at that first, because believe me, for softball down there and UCLA coming to town, a lot of people that'll be in the stands, whether it be big time alum from, Arizona definitely, from U of A, but from both schools, that will be a phenomenal matchup to say the least. So check it out. So yeah, a little baseball, softball there for you. I'll have more on Friday, but I'm going to get out of here again. Everybody, thanks for joining in and hanging out with me here on Pac-12 Preview. Again, I'll be back Friday, and I'm going to be talking about what's coming up Saturday. And I haven't mentioned it enough. I know I have mentioned it, but Pat's Run is on Saturday. And it gets started early in the morning in Tempe, very early in the morning. People showing up to register at 5 a.m. and then they start at 7. And then they're going to finish the run. And then the ASU spring game is right after that. So I will be out there live for that. But yeah, Friday, going to talk about Pat's Run, aiming to have some former players that play with Pat Tillman and people that do Pat Tillman events all over for Pat Tillman. So that do runs and stuff like that. But yeah, the run that started with the Pat Tillman Foundation, his family started that after his, unfortunate, untimely death. Again, left in the NFL, served in the Army. If you don't know his story, if your kids don't know his story, we'll talk more about it on Friday. But if they don't know it, share who Pat Tillman was. Believe me. Learn. If you don't know, again, learn, but learn and share who Pat Tillman was as just a human being and what he meant. Again, not even, I mean, to his family, people, but his teammates. I mean, playing football at ASU, playing pro for the Cardinals, and giving it up. And he said, he goes, we'll talk about it Friday, because if I start now, we will go down that way. I'll be here till 4:00 this afternoon. I'm not kidding, talking to you about it. So more on Pat's run on Friday and what people can do to get involved for the run, but year round. And we will go from there. So everybody have a great day. Enjoy. I guess there's some hockey hoops on tonight, all that good stuff. Enjoy it. Some, like I said, some softball going on in the Pac-12. Check it out. Don't be bashful. But I will see you Friday, same bat time, same bat channel. And as always, you know it, forks up.